Hello, everyone. Welcome to Star Trek Online. Brought back old Skystryder here on board the U.S.S. Poseidon, and we're going to see if we can't finish up the season Yesterday's War. The first objective is to get through the loading screen.
In 2387, an incident created a quantum rift between our universe and this one. A Romulan ship accidentally traveled here through a singularity. They found themselves in 2233 and later destroyed the U.S.S. Kelvin in battle. This caused their timeline to differ from ours. As a result, we now refer to it as the Kelvin timeline. We believe the sphere builders communicate with their operatives through the rift. Yes, in our timeline, they used the Xindi as a proxy force. I suspect they're doing the same thing here with the Klingons. I'm reading multiple spheres under construction in this sector, as well as the wreckage of spheres. I suspect the local forces are trying to prevent an expanse from being formed. This sphere isn't active yet. We need to neutralize it before the builders can create an expanse.
Starfleet Command, this is U.S.S. Yorktown. We are under attack and require...
I do hope you've come to fight, Patok. If not, you may whimper and wait for my blade at...
provide assistance. Over here! Greetings. I am Scientist STO 718. Thank you for your very timely assistance. Could you see to Admiral Garrett's medical needs? I am currently interfacing with your crew and your town's engineering systems to prevent a critical breach of the warp core.
Thanks. I'm not sure which Starfleet you're in exactly, but I'm guessing you won't mind giving my crew a hand here. Klingon.
Thank you. Oh, my head's still spinning. That last Klingon photon hit sent me flying.
Thanks. I hope you're here to deal with these spheres.
Thank you. I thought we were finished. The Klingons weren't interested in taking prisoners.
We could use some help putting out these fires! Come over here after you put out the last fire. Over here! Alright. We were about to begin sabotage operations on the sphere when the Klingons came to call. As you can see, Yorktown. Glad to hear it. We've got explosives ready to go. But we'll need to find a proper infiltration point.
Use the starboard console. Together we can triangulate our scanners. Admiral Garrett, I believe we found a suitable location. I have reviewed your proposed infiltration coordinates. They are tactically sound. We can commence operations at your command. Be advised, in previous encounters on board...
I'll stay on the Yorktown to assist Admiral Garrett and his crew. We'll monitor your progress from the bridge and provide tactical help.
most effective stealthing tactic has been to trigger a critical series of detonations within their power suite. Such disruption
Experiment 2674. Despite attempts to compensate for transdimensional drift, the protocol initiation led to universal instability and...
Receiving data. I had no idea the sphere builders were involved in so many alternate realities.
You cannot stop our plans!
I was part of the team that devised the sphere neutralization tactics aboard U.S.S. Enterprise. After our initial success, I was deployed to the Yorktown to share my expertise on such matters.
Experiment 3331. The expanse route at acceptable rate.
This data. They've exterminated entire galaxies with their experiments.
It seems your alliance with the Klingons has been profitable, builders.
It has. Like the Zindi, they are eager for conquest.
However, the technology you have provided destroys as well as creates.
The Resistance has been disruptive to our progress. Your promises appear thin, Envoy.
I assure you, all is going according to plan. Nothing they will do will keep us from our goals.
And yet, I see a familiar disruption has presented itself again.
A minor nuisance. I suggest letting your Klingons do what they do best.
I will deal with this disruption. It's time you learned that you cannot prevail, intruder. You will fall to ruin. You! I have had enough of you! The Tutarians were a peaceful race until your misbegotten alliance committed an act of genocide! We were all but a The Envoy has given us the means to manipulate events. We had begun to undo the damage you have done to us. Quantum realms such as this are ours to study without risk to our own. Yes, just as you were willing to do so to achieve your goals. Do not presume to judge me, murderer! The Expanse Protocol will...
Something is happening. The sphere is emitting a high level of thermobaric radiation. We must complete our objective.
They don't let you take advantage of choke points in half these things. They put you in a sitter. It's pretty smart, but it makes it a little frustrating. You're fighting adversaries on all sides.
Finished working on the sphere network. Prepare the final charge for detonation. Final charge deployed. We can return and initiate.
Experiment 4472.
The latest data is local. It corresponds to this universe's quantum signature.
Of course, I didn't expect to move past the bridge, so I took all tactical with me. It may have been better if I had had a science and an engineer.
Sphere builder ships inbound.
Nice work over there.
It was rough for a moment, but you both... What the... I'll see you back on the ship, sir.
Most curious. I believe that wound occurred due to a temporal shift. Something has happened elsewhere. A question for another time, perhaps.
In the end, you came through for us. On behalf of Starfleet and the Yorktown crew, thanks.
Indeed. Safe travels to you and your crew.
The Envoy's been busy since our last meeting. I think we can add the Sphere Builders to our list of known TLF associates and members after this encounter. The Builders are no strangers to temporal war. Their experience could tip the balance of power against us. Fortunately, their ability to operate in our dimension is extremely limited. For now. Some time ago, there was a situation involving the U.S.S. Enterprise C. We thought the matter was fully resolved, but there was an oversight. We need to find one of the Enterprise C survivors, a temporal duplicate of Starfleet Admiral Tenay. Until we reconcile her displacement, the timeline is in jeopardy. There's one person in particular that can provide the location of the survivors, Sela of Romulus. We believe she's operating in the Cytor system. Meet me there to search for Sela and enlist her aid. Stay safe out there.
Star Trek is so worried about timeline in our current time, but everything that we do affects the timeline. Every little decision we make affects the timeline in the future. And we don't seem to think a whole lot about that at Star Trek as they're making the decisions for the here and the now.
If she's here, we'll need to draw her out. Seal is not easily found if she doesn't want to be. In the meantime, there's a structure on one of the larger asteroids, but the mineral content there is making long-range scanning difficult. Our intel shows a lot of Romulan activity in the system, in Seela's name. Command believes she's planning an assault of some kind and gathering tactical resources. This looks like an abandoned Tal Shiar base. Or what's left of one. It looks like the interior has been stripped of anything useful over an extended period of time. This could be the work of Seal. Those ships were older, but battle-ready and in good repair. It's unusual of them to run so quickly. We should stay sharp. As long as they keep leaking plasma, we can follow their trail. They're not trying to lose us. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Unidentified ship, you are trespassing in sovereign Romulan space. And oh, it's you again. No, you are still trespassing in my space, and I could use a new ship for my armada. Fine, we'll talk. Cut to the chase and tell me what it is you want. Ah, I'd wondered when you'd get around to looking for the Enterprise C survivors. When the Enterprise C survivors were taken, my father agreed to let the rest of the crew live, so long as Lieutenant Yar served as his concubine. She's executed, but my father held to his word. I am aware of their location, but I will only take you there if you agree to bring me with you. And what assurances do I have that I won't simply be executed? I will not agree to my death. If I agree to this, I will be held in house arrest, somewhere reasonably pleasant by my own standards. I will not be cut off from access to the outside world, and I will not be given any sort of death penalty. Further, you will allow my crew and the ship. The survivors of the Enterprise C were sent to a Tal Shiar prison world. Set a course for the Pictet system. I shall make my way to the bridge of this quaint little ship.
I had to refamiliarize myself with this timeline. I'd been jumping around so much on this particular character. I thought this was after the Iconian War, and I thought that she had been disappeared after the. But I am in an alternate timeline. Yeah, that's right. I'm in the Kelvin timeline. Okay. Not sure how all of that fits together. I'll figure it out when I play this through again.
I'm reading several Tholian ships on sensors, along with some unusual temporal fluctuations. Tholians dislike anything involving time travel. We should be cautious.
This is the Pictet system, one of many worlds where the Tal Shiar would send assets important enough to keep, but not threatening enough to kill. Supplies to this world stopped when Hobus was destroyed, but the Enterprise C crew are proven survivors. I admit.
Do not intrude. The anomaly will be eradicated. Leave now.
temporal anomaly. It was emitting high levels of tachyon radiation and chronotons before it dispersed. I'll need more data, but...
Scan one. I want to see what they were so interested in.
Based on these readings, I believe I've found an origin point for these anomalies. They're coming from the planet below. I suggest sending... All clear. You should check out the planet above with me. I am detecting signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal...
Assemble your most able crewmen and... My apologies. This is your ship. You give the orders.
We've beamed down into an open courtyard within what's left of the Tal Shiar prison. Doesn't look like it's been inhabited for some time. I'm reading a number of...
The shipments of supplies stopped long ago. Anyone alive down here will have a hard time. I said, that is what this is about, isn't it? There are two of her and no one else. If you... This world was abandoned by the Tal Shiar decades ago. I doubt there's anyone left. The survivors of the Enterprise C might have left personal items behind.
This datapad dates back to the late 23rd century. It lacks power. place hasn't been inhabited for a while. Thing is, the tricorder is giving a range of time from 3 months to 30 years. We're dealing... That's one of the temporal anomalies. I wouldn't recommend entering its area of effect. From what I'm reading here, contact with the anomaly will do considerable damage to anything organic. Someone's been here recently. The tricorder's picking up numerous signs of habitation in the area. By the look of things, this gate appears to have been locked from the outside. Perhaps they knew about the anomaly but didn't have the means to handle it. There's a manual override over there. When we disrupted this anomaly, it seemed to fracture, forcing more anomalies into our timeline. I think we might be able to use that to our benefit, though. The gate controls are trapped within an anomaly. We'll have to disperse it to use them. Time is a tricky thing. Moving one anomaly will likely have a cascading effect on others. Time is a tricky thing. Looks like some of the closed gateways are rusted now. Find another spot. I think I can see a clear path to the controls. The gate's open. Try to disperse where you are. It should open an escape path for you. Excellent. The gate's open, and we can continue our search for Tanae. Well done. Before we move on, I've managed to bring the datapad online again. It might...
Give me that! The first entry dates to 2389, nearly 40 years after she was executed. Or at least 40 years after she was... I am Natasha Yar, Security Chief for the Federation Starship Enterprise D. Well, at least that's who I was. For the past 40 years, I've been Tal Shiar Prisoner 24601. But even that changed a week ago. We've managed to recover some data pads like this one, but there isn't enough here for us to call for help or escape. I'm leaving this record in case anyone... Lieutenant Yar was supposed to have been executed. My father said it happened. There were witnesses. How can... Clearly, there was some judicious alteration of history. The Enterprise C survivors were here, but something drove them away. Something more than the loss of supplies. We should continue looking for the survivor. It would not have been the first time. No doubt he thought she might still have been useful in some way. I can see the pity in your eyes. Keep it. His decision allowed me to become the person I am. I do not regret that.
Look! There's a path ahead! This anomaly looks more stable than the others. It's probably less deadly, but let's not find out now.
The generators died, no one knows why. Richard thinks it might have been the big predators. Today thinks she might be able to salvage some of the parts. I hope she can. She's been glaring off the remains for the last 3 hours. 2 more dead. We'll build a new settlement in the old secondary supply bunker that Talshar abandoned 20 years ago. The surviving guard has agreed to guide us there. Lieutenant Yar never discussed Turkana 4. When I was older, I discovered why. She was a survivor. It is clear that her arrangement with my father was just that.
There's another unstable anomaly. The anomaly has left some of the rock in a molten state.
You took readings in orbit. Surely we should continue looking. Clearly, these anomalies must be connected to your mission. Now, while you take a leisurely stroll through the jungle, I will be moving on.
There's a lot of interference, but I think I'm picking up a life sign. Tanae!
Go away! Leave this place! No! Please, not again! Stay away! Stay away!
It seems your duplicate Tanae is still alive, and she isn't pleased to see you. I don't really blame her.
She's run off, but there's an even larger anomaly close by.
It looks like it was a structure at one point.
Another temporal anomaly, and this one is larger than the last.
Ruin like this.
There are temporal eddies moving through the area, and a few stable locations between them. Now, there's a stable pocket ahead of you. Set up the first stabilizer there. That's the first stabilizer. 2 more to go. Incredible! Dispersing the anomaly restored more than I expected. We should look for clues.
We found an entire grove of saplings. Richard swears the same area was full of towering trees last week. While her father was a tall Shi'ar general, he spared my life in the end. Perhaps he wasn't petty and cruel to her. I hope he wasn't. Shelter ruined, last tricorder gone, half our stores destroyed, 5 dead. The hunters and gatherers returned to find many dead and unconscious. None of them can remember what happened. Without the tricorder, we can't scan the area, or for internal injuries.
Some sort of temporal inversion happened here. Some of the rock returned to an earlier molten state, while some of the building materials aged over 200 years.
Well, I suppose it was nice that Yar thought of me, but that doesn't change the fact that she was going to steal me away like a thief in the night. If she had truly cared, she would have stayed where she was. My father was not cruel or petty. The Enterprise C survivors were surprisingly resilient. Tasha's notes are more sparse but seem to record a productive, if primitive, community. They mention a secondary site close by.
Over here! There's a path with recent footprints. I'm reading another anomaly, further down the path. Tanae might be there.
The Tanae anomaly and its allies must be purged.
That Tholian away team must have beamed down to investigate the anomalies. This looks to be a well-worn path. Some recent footprints here, heading the other way. They might have run into Tholians.
It seems your Vulcan passed this way recently. Perhaps the cavern mentioned Natasha's loss was nearby. It seems many of the refugees would be alive if it weren't for the anomalies. I wonder how many are left now.
I'm detecting signs of recent habitation in this location.
Maybe we'll find more answers.
This was some sort of dwelling up until a few months ago. If I'm reading this right, there was an explosion of tetri...
The anomalies are temporal in origin. I watched Richard wither and die before my eyes. An anomaly appeared, and moments later, he aged 100 years. We buried him this morning in a clearing. Danae hasn't been seen in days. I'm worried she won't come back. I'm worried she will. I thought her strange behavior might be it.
This is Danae. I have agreed to report the final words of Natasha Yar and to hold this log for the future. If there is one, if it isn't here already, Natasha Yar died of a fever. She wished for the story of the crew of the Admiral C to be remembered. They were brave beyond expectation. Do not come near me.
I think I see movement in the bushes. Danae?
Stop following me! No! Go away! I told you to stay. I am dangerous. You should not be here. No! Not again!
There's a new anomaly forming.
Tholians!
Purge the anomaly. Purge the contaminated.
Danae, the anomalies that have been occurring were caused by decades of temporal interference. Because of what happened with the Enterprise C, you exist in two places at once. We can fix this. You and your count...
I see the logic in your presence here. I am anomalous. My presence here must be sufficiently reconciled to preserve the order of things.
All this time, she was here. I believed she was dead. Tasha believed I might come looking for her. She believed it so strongly she left logs in case. This place has led to some interesting revelations, shall we say? I think it best we leave.
Looks like we beamed up just in time. Several Tholian ships are on an attack vector.
Something is happening. It's happening again. Another anomaly is forming.
I see you found my displaced temporal counterpart. Well done. An operations team is standing by on this vessel to assist with her temporal reintegration. Please beam her aboard, and we will begin the process. I see. Having read the briefing from Starfleet Command, I find her presence here to be most logical. Very well. I will take custody of Sela and deliver her to a secure facility once the reintegration procedure is complete.
It seems our journey is at a parting of the ways once more. I did, and I will. But I have a condition to... Tell me about my mother.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, in
The timeline is stabilizing. Anomaly counts are dropping, and our agents are reporting a decline in temporal aftershocks due to recent events. That's a good thing, by the way. The aftershocks of our recent discoveries on Pictet.
Congratulations, Admiral.